I want us to get the answer from the question. Yeah, because there is a problem with the question that we really have to rectify. It will only take a minute, actually. Please just go slowly by slowly, word by word. Yes.
If a friend comes seeking for advice that he married a girl.
He married?
Yes, he married a girl. But due to balance in dowry, the girl's parents refused making nikah. You see?
Okay, pause there. He married due to the balance of the dowry. They refused to make nikah. So the question is, what marriage are they talking about? You get the point now? In first place, there is no marriage there. We are together now. So we are addressing something of two people without marriage. Because if there is no nikah, then there is no marriage.
The girl's parents refused making nikah, but allowed him to take the girl. And nikah will be done after dowry clearance. What should he do?
Now, have you understood the question? I'm understanding three things. The first one is, there is no marriage in first place. Because nikah was not done for a reason, the dowry, there is the balance in dowry. Secondly, the parents consented to this daughter of theirs to go with this man. Now it is also sensitive in a way that if at all the guardian now has allowed this daughter to go in, nikah is already in the way now. The father has accepted, and probably there are no witnesses. If at all they are there, it is just an imaginary question, if I'm to say. But let's appreciate the three facts. One, I've sensed the fact that the parents are money-minded and they are ready to exhaust their daughter for a reality that probably you've not met the dowry standards. And this is what is happening. Some local parents are very fine with their girl being with some man out there in an irresponsible way. Reason being, they still pressurize and they're like, if you're ready, then you will think of us. And then they will give birth to 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 or maybe 4. Even death is there. Maybe even they will die before even getting officially married. So the Islamic guidance is just too explicit. There is no man that is allowed to be with a girl, any lady, not until the marriage contract is made. And we all know the pillars of a marriage contract. We need the permission of the guardian, that's 1. We need 2 witnesses, that's 2. We need the ijab and qabul, the offer and acceptance of whatever is going to happen. And then lastly, probably the religious person to guide you on the whereabouts of this, and the dowry is also a pillar of the marriage contract. So all you have to do, if at all you want to get in marriage, you have to respect all those pillars, and that's when you're considered a married person. With the issue of dowry, Islam has it that you can marry a lady and partially give in the dowry, and then the balance will be met at the date you've agreed on with the witnesses, of course. So if you choose to try it like that, you're like, okay, we are going to do nikah, but at least there is a writing that out of the 1 million of dowry, you're giving her 500K. The balance of 500K, you're going to give it to her in a month. It is also respected, but you still go in with marriage. So if at all it is something to do with dowry, yes, dowry is actually a financial right of a wife that is not supposed to be influenced by even the parents. Now these other gifts are also to the parents, and there is no way you're going to call it off, because you have to also make them happy. They're giving you a daughter. So we have to draw a line between the two realities. Islam guided the whole dowry story, and I just don't want to be detailed in a way, but I wanted us to at least rectify the question, because the answer was even there in the question. And then lastly, it is very possible that Allah might predetermine for you to have stubborn parents-in-law. True or false? Maybe you're ready to marry this girl, everything is on point, and then the father will tell you, do you have a house? I want you to buy for me a house. I want you to buy for me a car. I want you to do this. If at all you don't do that, I'm not giving you my daughter. It is very simple. Probably that is not your level. These girls are very many. We have very many tribes in Uganda. We have very many, they're just very many. So if you decide to stick, and the reality, the bad reality is, people tend to play around with marriage and forget the aftermath of marriage. Do you know how many young youths here that are married to women and they have no discipline to going and paying courtesy visits in those homes? Is it true or false? It's because the last memory they have is this man invested 50 millions in eating and drinking and dancing, yet he doesn't even own a business. And after a week, after a year, you're the same person who was invested the 50 million in, you're trying to stress him. It is pretty obvious that whenever you're going to stress him, he's going to be like, this is the same human being that is a reason as to why I'm still poor till today. If you make mention that, when are you visiting my father? When are you visiting my mother? They have taken long without you paying a visit to them. It is just obvious. They won't let you know. But it's because it is a bad memory they are having with that. So it's because probably we are just too money-minded in that way that we are only thinking of this marriage issue into a 1 hour, 5 hours session, forgetting there is life after marriage. These are families coming together. You're now having some other parents, musahara now. The parents of your wife are now your parents. You pay visits to them, you call them, you relate with them. How are you going to relate when you're now starting having these clashes even before marriage, or maybe through to marriage? So I think it's a sensitive situation, only that whoever asked it probably had issues with phrasing the question. But I think probably when you're trying to find the guidance, you shouldn't go around into different fields like that. There is the how to marry, there is now the dowry aspect. These are all broad aspects now that you can't digest in only 5 or maybe 7 minutes. However, it is a reality that is happening. If you get that family that is just too unserious to that level, it might even be a red flag. Allah is busy giving you this information, you're ignoring it. Are you expecting Jibril to come to you to let you know that, please, this is not a good family because this father is now, he wants a house and you don't have a house, wants a car and you don't have a car as a person, please? Jibril is not going to come. These are all flags for you to consider. If at all you're to decide, you consider in the no having this on plate. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us guidance to the best. Barakallahu feekum.
Just one small addition. Sometimes the young men make mistakes by going into these marriage negotiations alone without any seriously mature escort like Mzee Kabali here. Now, don't go and face parents alone, because in some cases they will do to you what we usually do when you go into a shop and you don't have money. What do? You ask for what is not there, so that you don't walk away ashamed. You ask for the non-existing, meaning if this man sees you are some lousy boy from university, he's not really comfortable with you. He will ask what you don't have. as a way of chasing you away. So he's not directly saying genda sagala, but he asks for a Mitsubishi Fuso. He's sure even if the entire clan comes together, they can't get that Fuso now. So he's sure you're not going to come back. So the principle is go with some mature people. But of course, you should also be a person that can be presented to others, because Mzee Kawali is not going to escort some lousy-looking young man who does not have a proper history. He can escort these young men of Dowrry and the others, whom he is sure at least if he can stake his name. Then when he is talking to his fellow elder, he's talking to him saying, Munangi, this young man has been brave enough in this spoiled world of today to come and say, please permit me. Respect that bravery and the sincerity involved. So the big man will think a bit about the maturity of the person saying, and they can permit. Otherwise, if you go into those negotiations alone, you are going to have some rough time there. Now,
maybe lastly, on the same question, we have seen so many things happening these days. People get married, after 2 months, they separate, and then the man starts, I'm coming for my property that I brought. When you get married, the pillars, Brother Blafo has mentioned, those ones, the pillars must be fulfilled. Once you fulfill them, then the wife becomes yours. But these gifts that you gave to the parents, please don't be attracted by these people who just come on Bouquet Day and the other media to say, I want this and that. You gave in the gifts to the parents willingly. The gifts, you don't have to ask for them. No one asked you to take them there. All right? Even if they asked you and you accepted, those ones were for the parents. If you are separating with your dear one, or the one who was dear to you by that time, it is only mahar that can be given to you. I hope you saw a lady who separated with a man and they quarreled and so on. But alhamdulillah, at the end, it was mahar of 500,000, which was given to the man. And the man was told, please, be very cool. And he gave in to that. Let us not follow what others are doing, because we have seen them doing it. Muslims, you are supposed to follow your Quran, your Hadith, your Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.